Good evening, everyone. Before we begin, I want you to do a little bit of visualization practice for me. I promise I won't take long, but I urge you to just close your eyes, maybe less than a minute, please. I request you to close your eyes, breathe in, breathe out, just relax. You're in a very calm state of mind. Visualize yourself sitting at a spot. Now, I want you to think about the last goal that you were chasing in your life. It could be a personal goal, a professional goal, maybe marriage, anything that made you sleepless in the night, and you worked day in and day out to achieve this. And you thought in your mind that this goal will lead to all the happiness in the world. This is it. Now, I want you to think about the exact moment when you just achieved this goal and it was there. And you said to yourself, finally, I did it. How long did that voice last? Or did the next voice, tiny little voice in your head, say, what's next? You may open your eyes. This shift from extreme joy to restlessness is what is called destination addiction. Many people call it destination delusion. And I'm not a Gen Z, but I think they call it destination delulu. Why is it so bad? Because in our mind, we keep thinking about that happiness lies in the next chapter of our lives. But we haven't thought about it, whether in these circumstances, would we be really happy? It's a trapping mindset, and I was trapped in this mindset for years. And it was a constant loop, because I thought, when I get a job abroad, I'll be happy. I'll be complete when I get married. I'll feel secure when I have so many clients as a counselor. But here's what actually happened. When I got that job abroad, I was hopeless in my life. When I got married, instead of focusing on the compatibility, I dwelled on the things that weren't working in my life. And when I had 3 clients, I wanted 5. When I had 5 clients, I wanted 7. And this difference between obsession and ambition devoids you of all the joy in the world. And instead of being grateful right in the moment, there's so many things in your life you should be happy about, but we don't think about it. Do you know, we think about what might happen in the future more than half of the day, thinking that it might bring happiness. And I'm sure in many of your past experiences, it must have happened that you thought this moment is going to bring joy, but it didn't. It's called the I'll be happy when syndrome. That happiness is in the next chapter of our lives. So I get to work with a lot of female clients, these young, beautiful professionals. They're really passionate about their life. They're ambitious. They really, really want to work hard. But they always ask me this question. We are restless after a certain point of time. And I tell them this one question. When will you ever feel enough? And there's silence. Silence because no school taught us how to rest. And by resting, I don't mean we're sleeping 24/7. This rest is that pause we need in our life to reflect. What are we really doing? Where do we really want to go? But not about the outcomes. It's the journey. Rest isn't the opposite of ambition. It is the foundation of it. It is in this rest comes calmness. It is in this calmness comes clarity of what we really want to do in our lives, goals, ambition, our relationships, nurturing everything. And so one fine day when I was working in a news channel during my COVID days, I was absolutely blank that day. I had nothing to do. And my boss was surprisingly very kind to me that day. And I was sitting with this blank paper right in front of my eyes. And I just asked this question to myself. What do I really mean by a meaningful life? For me, not for my family, not for my husband, not for my neighbor who has 2 cars, but I have none. I have 1 now. But what is it that I define as a meaningful life? And I was blank. I didn't know what to do. I was just flowing. Somebody said, do this. I went. Somebody said, do that. I went. And I was clueless, hopeless. And in that moment, I thought to myself, let me not delve into the outcome or the destination. What if my journey is so beautiful? I get to learn so many things. I get to experience. I get to travel. I get to do new courses, even if my destination doesn't align with the course I'm doing, but I'm learning. And that shifted every perspective in my life. I wasn't clueless anymore. And then I thought to myself, I will celebrate every little win in my life. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be grateful for all the things that maybe society thinks I don't have enough, but in my mind, I feel I have enough. I'm so happy. And this happiness leads to that energy shift in your life, which gets more and more and more. And now you're not even focusing in that more because you're so happy in the present time. And so here are 3 key takeaways I learned in my journey. And I hope it helps you too. First, catch yourself when you say these one-size sentences. Once I get that job, I'll be happy. And replace it with, what joy am I currently experiencing till the time I get there? Second, create those white spaces in your lives. We are all boggled with so many deadlines, so many meetings. Let's now focus with clarity. Let's walk. Let's rest. Let's understand what do we really want to do in the present, not in the future. And finally, redefine what enough means for you. Not for anybody else, but you. We don't know what it will feel when you've arrived because nobody taught us what arrival even looks like. So when you climb that ladder of a meaningful life, that one and one ladder only, all the other ladders will go blurred because this ladder is now very meaningful. It is with pace. It is with clarity. And so I want you to think yourself, and you can keep your eyes open for this. Just visualize. There are 2 scenarios in your life. You're in this racing line, and you can see the finish line right over here. You're running, you're pacing, you want to achieve this goal. It's very important for you to achieve this goal. You can't see anything on your right, you can't see anything on your left. You're just running. You can't see so many people who are also running ahead of you, and you want to compete with them. You're checking one box, then there is another. You're checking another box, then there is another, because here the finish line keeps on moving further and further ahead. And now imagine yourself, you're walking with clarity in the same racing track. You're seeing people who are moving ahead of you, but you don't care because you have clarity in your life. You're walking. I can see the goal, sure, but I'm learning so much here. People are appreciating me here. They're wiping my tears when I'm down. I'm seeing the environment. My family is supportive. I'm thinking about my health. I'm in the present. Outcome, I have no control in. So let me just enjoy this journey. Which life is better? And so work very hard in our life. We should work very hard in our lives. We need to dream big. We have to dream big. Who's stopping us? Everything is possible. But we cannot forget to breathe. We cannot forget to pause. We cannot forget to reflect in our lives. And so before leaving, I urge you to ask this question to yourself and try to find an answer. If you stop chasing whatever you're chasing right now, right at this moment, what part of your life is worth celebrating? Thank you so much.